All right, I am George Lane. I am the co-film festival director and programmer for Days of the Dead Film Festival, and I am honored to be with Stuart Brennan, writer, director of Warlord.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here, and we always really appreciate anyone who watches the film. That's my mum calling to see how it went. She'll have to wait. Thank you so much, for sitting through the film and enjoying it, and for having us.
Oh, it's an honor to have the North American premiere and to hear how well it's doing. To let everybody know how well it's doing in the UK.
Yeah, so we released the movie about 2 weeks ago on most streaming platforms globally, so we're on Apple and Amazon and that sort of thing. And in the UK, we actually entered the top 5 bestsellers in the UK, and we're in the top 10 for a week, which, for an indie film, that just doesn't happen, we're up against huge marketing budgets, multi-million-pound movies, we beat John Wick, we beat Den of Thieves with Gerard Butler, so to rank higher than those guys is truly pretty special, and just shows that people want independent movies, they do. People are out there looking for your content, looking for great movies, looking for something different, and hopefully that's what we're doing here.
Most definitely. The special effects were great, be it practical or digital. And I think one of the things that shined for me was even the small little details of like the elf ears. And I was seeing just the red details to where it gives blood. Sometimes people will just have it so just regular skin color to where you can't, they don't look like real ears whenever real ears are a bit blood. They don't have those little veiny little stuff through it. Excellent. So, in saying that, as far as you're working on the special effects, bringing that, who'd you find to make that happen for you?
So the way we work as a company, Stronghold, is we try and employ crew members all year round because it's such a difficult industry. Often you're employed just for a few weeks at a time, and then you've got to go and find a paycheck elsewhere. So what we've tried to do as a company is try and say, look, let's keep you employed year round. We're going to find other ways for you to make money, be that through creating merchandise and things like that. And then when we're doing a movie, we actually are able to invest in their training, invest in their well-being, and support systems. So we actually have our own in-house SFX team that we've been building over the last 3 or 4 years. And so we reach out to people and ask for support and advice whenever we do something new. So like with the elf ears, we spoke to Sir Richard Taylor, who did Lord of the Rings. He did all the prosthetics for that movie, or those movies. He's won 5 Oscars, so he's pretty good at what he does. And was really gracious and generous with his time, jumping on FaceTimes with me and my team and talking us through how to make the ears, how to look out for those little details. Like you mentioned, the reddening. Whenever we're looking at whatever weather condition the elves were in, we would change the color tone on the skin and things, because that's what happens. When you walk outside, it gets cold. Your extremities start going a bit red, and the pallor on your skin goes a bit lighter. And so we tried to make sure we were accurate with that every step of the way. So a lot of attention to detail, but a lot of support as well.
Yeah, 100%. It looked legit. Now, as far as your locations, because everything was outside, making that work within this film. Just tell me about your location scouting.
So you want to shoot in a castle in the UK. Most of them are owned by the National Trust, which is this wonderful organisation that looks after all these old buildings. But they're essentially tourist sites. So you want to take one over, it's going to cost you north of $10,000 a day just to get there before you even start spending money on anything else. And so, we needed to film for about 10 days in the castle walls, essentially. And that would have been most of our budget, just gone right there. So we went around to independent castles, and these are castles that people have put their hearts and souls into and managed to keep alive and keep going, often with some tourist elements. But generally, they're people who want to share the history, share their beautiful locations. And so we found this amazing castle. It's called Chillingham Castle in the north of England. And it is the most haunted castle in the world, apparently. And I have to say, nearly all of our crew members and cast members did have experiences which were paranormal. There were a couple of rooms that you just didn't want to walk into, and you find out the history of how many people were slaughtered in this castle. You suddenly go, oh, okay, well that starts to make sense. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, go and check out Chillingham Castle, because that's where we shot 99% of the film. We used all of their grounds for a lot of the forest sequences, and then we're inside the castle for most of it. And the guy who runs it, Sir Humphrey Wakefield, he is a crazy collector. He loves to collect things from all around the world, especially medieval items. So we turn up, and most of the set dressing's almost done for us, because he's got, you know, beautiful weapons on the walls, incredible tapestries everywhere. But it took us probably about 2 months just to find that place, because there's so many castles to go and look at, and so many discussions to have around the practicalities of shooting there. So once we found this one, we were able to put the cast and crew up. They helped us out with catering. They were just so supportive throughout the whole process. And I think we made their castle look pretty cool. So I think we're all happy at the end of it.
You definitely did. Let me get any questions from anybody or say something. There you go, Ryan.
So when can we expect follow-up?
Well, so this is where, you know, the indie film scene really kind of kicks in, is if the film can be successful, especially overseas, especially in the US, then that means the revenue comes in to allow us to do the sequel. Right now in the UK, to hit the top 10 on Amazon means that we're doing very well there, which is exciting. And we're probably a few months away from being able to hit that green light button. But next year we'd like to go and shoot it for sure.
Cool.
Any others out there? Yep, you.
I noticed a small gem in your film, loved your movie. I noticed Devorah Wild was in there, for those nerds that play Baldur's Gate 3, we know who that is without naming names. Did she approach you or did you approach her, and how did the meeting go?
So we wanted to cast the movie with people who would be interesting to kind of the fantasy fan base, as it were. And I was talking to my VFX team, and I decided to say to them, who would you be interested in seeing in this movie? And they were like, well, the Baldur's Gate cast would be amazing. And it hadn't actually come out. And so I was like, okay, well, that sounds interesting. They had a few days off after that weekend. It was a long weekend. Came back, and they'd been playing the game non-stop. It released on that Friday. They couldn't put it down, and they were like, you definitely need to look at these actresses. And so we went out to Jennifer English, who plays Shadowheart. She plays Clanafin, the Wood Elf, and we went out to Devorah Wild as well. And they both auditioned for Clanafin, and we just felt that Jennifer had this just wonderful, gentle quality about her, which made her kind of more dangerous as a Wood Elf. And Devorah has this beautiful regal quality, so it made sense to cast her as the Queen and Jennifer as Clanafin. So it was us approaching them. And it was a joy to work with them. They're both beautiful people. They brought their all to this film. They were so committed and worked with us really well in pre-production. And then when we were on set, they were total professionals. And after filming, I got to sit down for a few months. And in my off time, I would play Baldur's Gate. So I realized what all the fuss was about. And if you haven't played it, it's an amazing game with incredible performances.
Thank you.
Like any other questions out there? Yeah, I can't see you if you, so
Yeah,
if you do,
I
go
have
for
one.
it.
So you took on a lot of different roles and did a lot of work in this film. What were the, I'm sure there are benefits to that and then challenges of having to direct and write and act and all of it. What were the challenges of doing all the things you did?
It's a great question. So as a writer, director, producer, and actor, you are wearing a lot of hats. And ultimately, you're going to have some sacrifices at certain points or some hurdles that you create by doing all of that. I think the biggest one is that you can only give so much time to every crew member because you have to get on with the acting or you have to get on with the directing, or sometimes there's a producing thing that pops up and you need to go and sort that out. And so to tackle that, you have to have a team around you who are all incredibly either experienced or on board with your vision, so that you can leave things to them, and that's how you get over those hurdles that are created. So a good example of that would be with the cinematography. Our cinematographer was Doug Milsom, who worked on many films of Stanley Kubrick. He did Full Metal Jacket, he did 7 weeks as DOP on The Shining. And so somebody like that, he's phenomenal at being able to say, Doug, this is what I'm after, this is what we're trying to do with the scene. He'll say, Stu, no problem, I've got it, come back in 2 hours, we'll be up, set up, ready to go. And then I've got 2 hours to go and focus on the other aspects of my jobs. So teamwork is really what makes the dream work, as they say.
Man, I can't thank you enough for being here, man, and allowing us to show the North American premiere of Warlord. So thank you so much. And can you plug in what you possibly, I mean, we'll get a sequel to this first, or maybe something else, or that you're thinking about working on?
So I did a movie about 10 years ago, which I think you've seen. Because I reached a point in my career where I've been successful. I'd won a British Academy Award and things were going really well. And when you start going up that career ladder, everything slows down. Movies take so long to finance. You can go years and years before your movie gets financed. And I got so frustrated with this ridiculous machine that you're part of that I thought, I want to go make a movie. I just want to make a film with my friends. And so I made this zombie movie called Plan Z, which was £3,000, $5,000 is what we spent on it. Netflix picked it up in the UK, it sold all around the world, people really liked it, we showed it at the film festivals, and that movie is something that I always look back on it and I love the experience of doing it. And now we enter an age where everyone has a movie camera in your pocket. Most cell phones are better than the digital cameras I started out with. And so I'm fascinated by using new technology to make a zombie film for as minimal amount of money as possible with the maximum amount of creativity. And so that's what we're going to be doing this fall, is doing, it's called A Candle in the Dark, A Candle for the Dead, and it's the sequel to Plan Z.
Nice. All right. And that's whenever I first met you, was Plan Z. So, Stuart, thank you so much. It's amazing having you. And for anybody that wants to follow you, social media, where can they get a hold of you?
So Stuart Brennan Actor on Instagram, and Stronghold Studios is on TikTok and Instagram as well, and on Facebook as well. So we're kind of on all the platforms, even on X, formerly known as Twitter. God, that's so annoying having to say that every single time. But yeah, I'm Stuart Brennan on there. So do give me a follow, and you know, if you see some good movies or there's things that you like, please give me a shout or a tag and tell me to go and watch some other independent films and support other artists, because that's what this community is all about. So thank you so much for being a spearhead of that and having such a great festival.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.